FloBaseball fans. I'm Nicole Beckelman, and today I'm joined with UNCW baseball player and country singer Jayson Arendt. Jayson, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So the first thing I want to ask you is, how did you end up at UNCW?
So I played my freshman year at a high school at Elon University and transferred to a junior college for a couple of years in Greenville, North Carolina, called Pitt Community College. And then my brother was actually the catcher here at Wilmington. And he told me it was a great spot. And we wanted to kind of team back up again, so I found my way down here to be a Seahawk.
So like I mentioned, you are not just a baseball player, you are also a country singer. How did you get into music?
So I've always loved music. When we were kids, I used to run around and sing all the time and put on little concerts at the house whenever friends would come over and whatnot. But we kind of turned it into something real a couple of years ago and started playing shows with my guitar, just me and the guitar. And in the last 6 to 8 months and year, started working on writing songs and put a band together, and we started touring around the Carolinas, and now it's kind of turning into something a little bigger than that.
How many songs have you released, or albums? Have you released any albums yet?
So I put one song out, one single. I've got another single coming out May 24th, and then we're gearing up to get another one ready to go in mid-June.
Okay, can you give us a little tease of the one coming out on May 24th?
Like sing it or just tell you about it?
Both.
Well, first I'll tell you about it. So this song I wrote last fall. It's called Like a Small Town. It's pretty much just kind of about me growing up, my hometown, from Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. At the time was pretty small. It's grown a little bit, but back in the day, some of the things that were most important to me growing up are all in that song. Started out with Sundays in church and being really close with your family and that kind of stuff. And then on the weekends, obviously, when you're in a small town, you kind of get up with your boys every weekend and raise some hell wherever you can. But all that stuff's put in that song. And that song means a lot to me because it's so personal. And I've found a lot of love with it, that a lot of other people have engaged with it and have reached out and told me that it means a lot to them as well. Without even hearing the full song, just little clips of it. And that means a lot to me because I felt like it wouldn't connect with as many people since it was so personal to me. But there's a good interview that I watched a couple years ago from Justin Moore, and he put out a song called Small Town USA. And his interview was all about the same type of deal, where he wrote about his small town. And something that he said that I really cling to is, a lot of people grew up like us, but then there's a lot more people who wish they grew up like us. And so kind of seeing it from that perspective means a lot to me too.
Do you have any country artists that you really look up to?
So I hold myself to a really high standard as a performer. That's kind of how I got started, to fall in love with it. I love being on stage. I love entertaining. And so my biggest role models for that are, I like Parker McCollum's performance a lot. He's a newer artist, and he puts on a really good show. He's one that I really like to go watch and learn from. And others that are like that are kind of your Morgan Wallens of the new age and your Luke Combs. But one that's really, really good that I hold dear is Jayson Arendt. I think he puts on a really good show and puts out some really good music. It's a little different than what your contemporary country would be, but a lot of people have fallen in love with it, and that's what rose him to be one of the biggest stars.
You are a country singer, but you're also a baseball player. So how did you end up getting into baseball and playing college baseball?
I've played baseball my whole life, going back to, I think I started when I was 8 with T-ball and worked my way through. And there's a lot of bumps in the road with baseball. It gets tough at times. You really got to push through. But that was something I really strove for, was to get to the Division I level and play and have fun. And the community of guys at the Division I level in that locker room is awesome. That's stuff that you never forget. It's the memories and the relationships that build so deep. This is only my second year here, and I consider these guys the best friends that I have in my life. And they welcomed me with open arms. It was awesome, especially with my brother being here. But it's the baseball connection is something that you don't really get in other things because there's so much heart and sweat poured into it. That then, like for our team, for example, we get a lot of benefits because we win a lot. We play really well, and we're set up to have a really good year this year too. And that's kind of some of the fun stuff, the bus rides and all that stuff, that it just makes it all worthwhile.
Yes, good to hear. So like you just said, your brother is also on the team. What is your favorite part about playing with him?
Well, so it's kind of something that we've almost taken for granted a little bit. We've played together our whole lives, growing all the way up, travel ball, showcase, high school ball, and into college. And so when we were kind of on separate teams, it was weird for us. We weren't used to it and didn't really know how to handle that with phone calls and stuff every day instead of like seeing each other. And so being able to play together and pick each other up when we're down and celebrate each other when we're up is awesome. When we were growing up, family was the most important, always has been and always will be. And so to be able to kind of carry that through college baseball is really rare, and we take a lot of pride in that.
Okay, now I got to ask you, what's your least favorite part about playing with him?
Well, he calls me out just the same as I do with him. We hold each other accountable really well, that not a lot of other guys on the team can do. We know each other really well, so it's kind of funny that we can get on each other about certain things that other people wouldn't even notice.
Okay, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'm really hoping that I'll be able to really have a solid foundation musically, be able to go around and play with some of the guys that I've looked up to. That's something that I'm really striving for, and really to just have fun with it. That's kind of my whole goal with it. It's not necessarily to be rich and famous and all that like some of these people do, but for me, it's almost just to have fun and just enjoy it. Life's short. You never know when it's going to go. So for me, it's all about having as much fun while I can and just enjoying the moment.
That is a fabulous mindset. I agree. I think everyone should have that mindset in life. What personal goals do you have for the CAA championships, which is actually in a few weeks?
So it's at home, which is awesome. We get to stay here. Last year we were at Charleston, which is kind of a far drive, but it was still fun. And our goal personally is just to win the whole thing. I mean, we're set up in a great spot. We got 2 weekends left of conference. We're tied for first right now. We're going into a great run. We've had a great run the last couple of weeks. And we really we feel amongst ourselves that we can go in there and just completely demolish the whole thing, go in there and win it, and be ready to go for a regional.
Yes. All right. Before we go, can we please get a little taste of the country artist, Jayson Arendt?
Well, you want me to sing a song for you?
I do.
Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
All right, so I'll sing you a little bit of this new single coming out on May 24th. You can pre-save it on my Instagram. There's a link in my bio that has it. So here's a little bit. When you pull in the drive and your mama walks out with her hands up high, the stars shine bright when they're hung up high in a southern sky. Yeah. The way the back road winds through the Carolina pines, bunch of boys round a fire drinking ice cold light. Yeah, there ain't nothing like a small town. That's a little bit of Like a Small Town. It'll be out May 24th on all streaming platforms. We're excited for it, ready to go.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Jayson. Best of luck on the rest of your season and your music career.
Thank you very much.